Hey, what's going on, you guys? What's up? My name's Barbarian, and welcome to another commentary story time with Barbie. Guys, I love making these videos, and you guys love listening to them based on the reaction you give to every single video, and that's why I keep doing these. So, with that being said, if you want to see another video, this is one of my best stories yet, so I really want to try and hit 2,000 likes. If we can do that, I'd really appreciate it. We hit 1,500 on the last video, and I promised you guys, if we hit that goal, I'd upload a story about the time I told the principal of my school to F off. And this is actually over Twitter to boot, which is a really kind of a long story, but we'll start from the beginning. The principal of my school runs the Twitter account for the school. She actually tweets about different things that happen, different sports events, and she also tweets when we have a snow day. So in December of this year, she actually tweeted, "No school, see you all in June." And this was a sarcastic comment because she knew that we were having a snow day and we'd all be happy, but she just wanted to, remind us that we'd actually be back in school in June when we make up those days in the summer. The problem is, seniors, like myself, don't actually make up snow days. They don't count for us. We just get out the same day no matter how many snow days we have. It's kind of one of those perks of being a senior. Not only do you get out in May, you get out on the same date no matter what. You could have 10 snow days and you'd still get out on the same date, whereas the other kids in school have to get their date pushed back. So, being the smart aleck that I am, I decided to tweet back at her, and I tweeted back, "F off, hashtag seniors, hashtag no makeup," and I think I added a chirp in there just to give her a little bit something, something to rattle her cage. But I figured this was more of a joke. I didn't really think of it as something that would, come back to bite me in the butt. However, she got really offended by it. In fact, it was up there for maybe 15 minutes. It probably had like 30 or 40 retweets. Everyone was loving the tweet. They thought it was hilarious. Except for her. She actually called my parents and asked them to have me take down the tweet, which I did because I figured, you know what, it's probably not worth having her mad at me. I'll just take it down and everything will be fine. Wrong. She was actually still mad at me the next day when I came back to school after our snow day. She actually called me down to her office in the middle of my class, and she told me that she was so offended by this and she was so angry that I would post something like this that she thought I should be suspended from school. In fact, she had me delete a bunch of other tweets off my Twitter that she thought were inappropriate, which is kind of weird because I go to a public school that really doesn't have much say over my Twitter account. So I decided to just take my lumps and take the suspension that she was threatening me with, and I went to, this was on a Friday, so I went home on the weekend and told my parents, and really, it wasn't really that big of a deal to me. I was actually posting some update tweets about things and kind of letting people know what was happening, but I really didn't expect anything to happen. I figured, you know what, lesson learned, don't tweet at the principal, I'll get a free day off of school, not a huge deal. But that's when things took a turn for the more interesting route. I actually got a call from the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union, and they were interested in the fact that I had a case involving students in social media and freedom of speech with schools, because they hadn't had a freedom of speech / student school type case since like Brown versus the Board of Education. I don't know what the case was called. I knew it before. It might have been Brown versus the Board of Education, but there was one Supreme Court case back in the 60s that really helped with the, quote unquote, freedom of speech, First Amendment rights of students, but they hadn't had any yet with social media. So they needed precedents, and they wanted to use my case as a precedent for any future cases that might come up that have more serious implications. Because let's face it, my case, not really that serious. It isn't a huge deal if I get suspended or not in the grand scheme of things. But in the future, some other student might have a bigger case, and having my case as a precedent so people can say, look, when Nick Barberi got in trouble, his school had to back down because it was against the First Amendment. That will help out people in the future. So that's kind of why I decided to go with them and allow them to work with me on this, because I wanted to make sure that they had what they needed in the future for people who had more important cases than I did. Obviously, I'm not really a big priority here. This is just more for the future. Now, When I actually talked to them, they told me that they thought I should not be suspended and that I should get an apology from the school for all this ruckus because I hadn't been in trouble in school since middle school. I mean, when 8th grade, I pretty much set down my immature ways and kind of behaved myself in the high school era. I only got in trouble once when I was in trouble for eating Cheerios. I told you guys about that last video. So the fact that I was being threatened with the suspension was really crazy considering I was 3 months away or like 5 months away from being a graduate. So it was kind of a cool thing that they were willing to back me up, but I really didn't think anything would come of it. That is until the news outlets started calling. I actually got to do a bunch of different interviews with Fox, NBC, ABC, even the local newspaper did a story on me. I was on the front page. It was really awesome. So I'll definitely link those in the description if you want to take a look at them and watch. But point is, it became a national debate. Not really national, like I wouldn't say that big, but I'd say a lot of people were talking about it, that's for sure, and it was a very polarizing topic. On one hand, some people were saying I shouldn't be using profanity on my Twitter in any way. But on the other hand, some people were saying, you know what, he's a kid, he can say what he wants, it's the First Amendment, that's what we're talking about here. So it was a very polarizing topic. My family, they were really supportive. It was kind of, a weird time when I was not really used to this quote-unquote, like, 15 minutes of fame. It was fun though, I had a lot of fun. And the end result was the principal actually apologized, and she told me that, basically she didn't talk to me for a while, and she did not suspend me. It kind of came back to bite her in the butt because the superintendent of schools actually had to make a statement basically throwing her under the bus, saying, you know what she did was completely against our policy. We respect our First Amendment rights of students, and this was a complete misunderstanding. So she got thrown under the bus. That was kind of unfortunate, but all's good, all's well that ends well. At my graduation, I actually was standing next to her waiting to get my diploma, and I gave her my hand. I shook her hand. I told her good luck in the future. There's no hard feelings, and she told me the same thing. She said good luck at whatever you do. And you know what? I'm glad we had this little quote-unquote war over Twitter, but it's also good that we made peace and that things weren't left on a sour note, because at the end of the day, was I trying to be provocative and make fun of, make a joke at her expense? Yes. But did I want to make her offended? Not at all. She's a great person, and I do respect her as an administrator, so it's something that I'm going to be able to tell people about for a while, for sure. It was definitely a fun experience talking to all these news outlets and ACLU and all this important stuff. And obviously I was like the talk of the school for about a week. It was really kind of a new experience, but I'd say that overall, it's good that it ended the way it did. So, guys, that is the story of the time I told my principal to F off over Twitter. Guys, if you like this video, then feel free to leave a comment telling me what you want to hear about next time. And don't forget, if we can hit 2,000 likes, I'd really appreciate it. I think this story was one of my best. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, my name's Barbarian. Peace out.